You're now live. I love this part. This is the exciting part. This is where we get to connect and interact, and it's as good as it gets, right? Because I've had these live classes where I met some of you, and that's a real treat. Like, that's taking the treat of connecting to the next level, like actually connecting and actually doing an exercise together. But since we're all over the world, this is as good as it gets, right? And so welcome to this live. I'm really excited to begin. We have a very good topic today, and I have various thoughts on it. And so, as usual, I didn't create an exact plan of what I need to say. So I'm just going to pray that whatever needs to be said and whatever needs to be heard and whatever will take us to the highest place in our life is what will be said today. Hey, I'm so happy to see you. Welcome to the live. I'm so happy to see you. Hey, I'm so happy to see you. Welcome to the live. I'm so happy to be here. And I think this topic is so important. So I'm excited to talk about it. Let's lay the groundwork. The question that came in is this. Parenting experts are saying, don't reward children. It's not a positive thing to do, and it may even be detrimental to reward children. So why are we, and why Feel Your Life, talking about rewarding yourself? I talk about this a lot because it's one of the cornerstones of personal growth. And so if you're not supposed to reward children, how are you different? And how does this work? It's a great question, because rewarding ourselves is something that is incredibly important for us to understand. Here's how it works. Let's start with rewarding children, right? When you reward a child, you say to the child, look, I want you to do this and this behavior. So if you're going to do this behavior, I'm going to give you something. I'll give you this, and all of us have different bribes, and some of them are quite good. Like, I'll give you this educational experience, right? We're even being good about it. And it's a bribe. We're telling the child, look, I know that this is hard for you. So get over the hard part and do it, because ultimately you will be getting something really good. So it pays. When we say that to ourselves, look, do whatever you need to do and I will reward you, what you're saying is you hate doing this, right? But just hold out, because at the end, something good is waiting for you. What you're essentially saying is the thing you're doing in order to get there is not tempting. It's hard. It's horrible. It's something to get through in order to get to the other side. And that's the issue. Because whatever you're doing in your life and whatever you're trying to teach your child to do, if you're trying to teach the child to do this thing by saying just get over it in order to get to the prize, you're not teaching them about this thing. You're teaching them to get over this thing, to try to get by this thing, right? And that's the message that you're basically killing the message together with giving it. You're saying, in my case, like, put your pajamas in the hamper when you take them off. But you're also saying, I will reward you for this, because really putting pajamas in the hamper is like something that I understand that nobody wants to do, right? What you really want to teach the child is enjoy the journey. Right? Cleaning up after yourself is this thing that we like to do. It's fun. There's a joy in taking care of yourself. There's a joy in taking care of your space. Now, we're not talking about parenting right now, and I believe that bribes have their time and place, but the idea, the parenting experts are saying don't bribe, because by bribing, you're actually taking them away from from enjoying this. In life, we have this thing, about the other world, the world to come. And we say, look, when you do good things here, you are building your eternity. And yet, at the same time, we're saying, don't do anything, right? Sheloi al manas lekabel pras. Don't do it so that you will be rewarded. Do it lishma. Do it just because you want to, because of your connection with your creator. That's how you want to do things. Why is this important, right? Especially since if we are doing good things, we actually are building our eternity. So why shouldn't we do it to build eternity? And the point is this. You are building eternity. That's good. That's in the future. But right now, you're here. And in this lifetime, you get to create goodness. You get to show up for yourself and for the people around you. You get to live a good life. So don't be future focused. Enjoy what you're doing. If you're going to say, look, I'm sacrificing, I'm working so hard, but I'm doing it for the other world, you're not here. And your creator is saying, this world was meant to be enjoyed. The connection you have with your creator happens in the moment, right? Where is God found? Not in the future. Not in the past. I mean, obviously also, right? God is the future, the past, and the present. But how do you connect? You connect in the now. Your now is the moment where everything is. If you have fear, you're thinking about the future or the past, right? The now is the most calm moment in the world. This is a good one. I like this one because I've been asking this myself. This is a rhetorical question. You don't answer it, you just ask it from yourself. And this deals with a now, right? If you ask yourself right now, if there is nothing to be solved, what would I be? If there's nothing to solve right now, how would I be? Just ask it from yourself. Can you feel the difference? When I ask myself this question, suddenly my face straightens out because I'm a lot of times thinking and in the future. And I ask myself, if there's nothing to solve right now, what would I be? How would I be? And this calm of there's nothing to solve. Everything will be taken care of. And there's this calm and there's this presence, the present moment. And in that present moment, you are connected to your essence, not to what you need to do, not to what you already did, not to what happened before, not to what's going to happen soon. None of that. You're connected to yourself and to your creator and to magic. You don't have to answer that question, right? I'm seeing the answer to that question. If you would have nothing to solve, what would you be? You don't have to answer it. It's okay. Let the question sit there and ask it from yourself every now and then. I don't know is a good answer. You don't need to know. We don't need to know what we would be. All this question is doing is saying, I think I need to take care of everything from my emotions to my kids to supper to what I'm going to do later to what I did before to how I feel about things. Well, if there would be nothing to solve, what would it be? No answer. Just, right? I mean, I can solve things, but I don't have to. And if there would be nothing to solve, who would I be? I would just be myself with my creator. So that's the now moment, right? When we say, I am doing this very hard thing, I'm pushing through, because ultimately I will be rewarded, I'm not here. I'm in the future. And you want to be here, right here, because here is where the magic happens. So, why is my nose bothering? when it comes to rewarding ourselves, hold on just a second. Okay. When it comes to rewarding ourselves, what did I want to say? The video paused and it's reconnecting. Let me know if you can hear me, okay? Because I don't know what's happening. But when it comes to rewarding ourselves, here's the deal. We are growing people. If you're here in this class, you're a growing person. Otherwise, you would be oblivious, right? Yesterday in the live class, if you were there, you've heard this already, but we were talking about the fact that if you're feeling pain, it means that this is something that can be fixed. Meaning to say, oh great, thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me. We all grew up and at some point we felt hurt. Now these hurts, these pains, these injuries to our psyche, to our ego, to our soul happened. And some of them are so ingrained that they're just a part of us, so much so that we don't even realize that it hurts. Some of you are familiar with this, right? Some of you have come to this class because your marriage hurts. But you know that there was a time when the same things were happening, the same dysfunction was happening, but you weren't aware of it. You were busy, forging a connection, imagining that things were good, whatever it was, right? You weren't focused on it and it was good. And at some point you grew and you said, I'm expecting better. And that's when it started hurting, right? You became aware of the pain. When we become aware of the pain, that's the sign that it's ready to change. Otherwise, you just wouldn't be aware of it. So where was I going with this? So if you're here, right, you're a growing person. You're a person who's saying, I'm ready for better, for more, for things to get exponentially just elevated and better. And the fact is that if you showed up, it's going to get better because you went down that path. You could have gone down the exact opposite path into denial, into forgetting about it, into being completely comfortable with how things are, no matter how painful they are. The fact that you're here is you saying, I'm not okay with the way things are. I want them to be different. You saying that even without words, right? If you're just showing up here, what you're basically saying with action, which is way more powerful than words, is I am ready for different and for more. And when you show up for that, you are bound to get it because you're actually walking down that path. Now, you may say to yourself, it hasn't worked for me yet. I haven't gotten there yet, right? Because it's a path, meaning you're walking down this path. You're walking towards your complete evolution. You're walking towards becoming more and more and more of yourself, more joyful, more free, more comfortable, more supported. All the things you want, you're going towards that. That's why you're here. And so, give me a minute to collect my thoughts. And so here's the thing. The fact that you're here means that, first of all, you did the first step. You showed up, okay? That's a big step. Many people don't even do that. That's a big step. But I bet for you, knowing myself, right, that you might be saying to yourself, okay, I showed up, but I'm not yet seeing results. Like, that's not the win, right? The win is going to be when I'm going to get this big sense of like, knowing and feeling that it's all resolved. But the truth is life doesn't work that way. You don't get, a big bang. It doesn't just bang into place. It happens in increments. It's a path. So you put one foot in front of the other foot, in front of the other foot, in front of the other. The first foot you put in was to show up here. But even before that foot was the foot of saying, I don't like this. And the next foot was, I want better. Right? And then you said, what can I do to make it better? And you might have even said, well, am I ready to make it better? Will it even work? Doubting and going back and forth. But finally, the truth is you're here, right? You've taken plenty steps to be here. Now, the fact is we're future focused. Each thing that we have, and it's so good and it's so wonderful, we're still saying to ourselves, well, I'm not there. I'm not there. It can still get better. And as much as we get, that's how much more opens up for us to see more. Like think of the highway, right? If you're on the highway You're traveling and there's a bend, so you're not seeing very far. But as you're traveling down the road, you're seeing that the road is even bigger. So you go down the road, and down the road you see that the world is even bigger. And that's the way it is with your life, right? You start off thinking, I don't have the permission to even want what I want, and definitely not to express what I want. And if I do express what I want, not to get what I want, and not to get it from others, maybe I can get it from one person who supports me, but the world doesn't support me. Maybe the world is supporting me, but I haven't even yet completely articulated exactly what I want. Maybe I have articulated more of what I want, but now I don't believe that I can get, right? More and more and more. As you're traveling down the road, more and more opens. The fact is that you're here. That means that you have taken tons of steps already. But you're seeing further down the road. You're seeing how good it can get. And you're waiting for that, right? Some of you are here for a while. Some of you have experienced tremendous miracles and tremendous growth. And still you're saying, well, yes, but there's more. I want more, right? And you're right. You're right, because the further we get, the more we are available. It's interesting. I remember this time, right? I mean, I've heard this concept. It says, whoever has like $100, for example, it's I don't know where it says it, maybe in Talmud or something. Whoever has $100 wants $200. I was told this, and the way I took it is, well, you're never going to be happy, right? And so part of the message that I received was, if you're never going to be happy, why even bother? Like, you don't even need the first 100, because the fact is you'll have the first 100, you'll want 200. And I remember that day when it clicked, and I said, the reason it says that when you have 100, you'll want 200 is not a derogative thing that says you'll never be happy. The opposite. It's talking about the fact that we are expanding people. We have expansion, which means that as soon as you have received the capacity to have 100, that's as soon as your capacity opens up for more, for 200. Now, the fact is that if you are open to 200, you will get 200, okay? So now you're open to 200. Now that you've received 200, your capacity opens up to 400. This is how it works. As soon as you get it, you're saying, hey, it's possible. I wanted it. I asked for it. My creator delivered it. I see that my desires are real and they really can become real. So now my heart is open even wider. I know what it feels like already. I came from so small. I came from, wanting just to be left alone and not to be bullied or not to feel horrible about myself. Now that I feel good about myself, I even want to connect to people and make them feel good, right? And now that I'm connecting to others and making them feel good, I want, you know what I'm saying? It expands and expands and expands. It just means, I remember that day, it was such a lightning piece for me, because I had always had shame about desire. Like, you'll want this, you'll have this, you'll want that. You'll have that, you'll want the other. And the truth is, yes, exactly. That is the greatest gift we have. That the more we grow, the more we can receive. And the more we have received, the more our capacity to grow and receive more expands. And that's what our creator wanted. That's why we're created with so many desires, because we are the people, the messengers through which God can give us good, right? We know that God created this world to do good to people. Now, if we're closed and we can only receive $100, that's very little that God can do good. But if we expand and expand and expand, there's so much goodness that we can receive. Isn't that a miracle? Like, how great is that? And so when we show up to receive, right? Talking about myself, I grew up and I thought that if somebody was willing to marry me, I had so much shame that if someone was willing to marry me, that was enough. I was willing to work hard and prove myself, and oh my God, right? And eventually I was like, no. So I expanded, and now I want more. Deeper relationship, more intimacy, more understanding, more respect from both sides. I want us to be a partnership for goodness. we grow and grow and grow. So let me take questions before going to the idea of reward. Yes, I see it time and time again. When I open myself up to something, that's when it comes. We think we have to work hard. Working hard is saying I'm not essentially deserving to get it. Only if I sacrifice my time, my heart, my children, whatever it is, whatever it takes, right? And the answer is no. Just be honest about the fact that you're open to it. And when you're open to it, you receive it and take it in. And when you take it in, you're saying, hey, wow, that feels good. I can use more of that and better of that and even closer, right? What if you want to stop somewhere? What if you do? Well, here's the thing. You can stop somewhere, but why would you want to stop when things are good? Here's the thing. We sometimes do want to stop when things are good. We're scared. We have never tasted this level of goodness. And when we taste this level of freedom and goodness and we're like, wow, it was so simple. All I needed to do was really want it and ask for it and become ready for it. And it came to me. I didn't even go after it. It came. And we get scared and we're like, let me back off. I don't even know what this is. I'd rather work really hard. That's us not being open yet to receive it. And we can just be compassionate to ourselves, right? It's okay. It's okay. I have gone into great light and back into darkness. It's the way of the world. It's okay. And then when you are ready for more, that's when it'll happen. But know that you can open yourself up for more. I think I limit myself because I'm scared. Yes, exactly. We get scared. When in the example of the $100 and $200, we're like, okay, I can handle getting $100. So we get the $100 and you're like, hey, I can get 2. Okay, 2. 4. Okay, 4. 8. Okay, 8. 16. Wait a minute. Is this going to 32 now? We're like, it's wild, right? And the truth is, it is wild. We have that capacity. Your life can get exponentially better. A lot of you have been telling me that in doing the work of this course, things have gotten better and better and better. And at some point, we were the ones who were blocking intimacy originally. And the truth is, we have our partners and we're not at fault, right? We need to remember that. But also, we showed up in a certain level of comfort. I blocked intimacy and connection and dignity out like the plague. So when I got it, it's scary. I was the one who blocked it for a reason, because I was scared of it, because I felt unworthy and undeserving. Sometimes we have to catch up to ourselves, We have to remind ourselves that, yeah, of course, sweetie, your creator loves you enough to give you everything that you can imagine. But are you ready to imagine? We are the ones who are scared of it. Because even the good doesn't always come for free. Sometimes it involves pain too. The pain of getting good is the pain. There's a lot of pain involved in it. First of all, sometimes, right, it does come with a price. But oftentimes, it's just the pain of, what is this? It's unfamiliar. I don't think that I deserve it. I am rejecting myself. As I grow, I'm also rejecting this. There's also the feeling of complete grief. Where was I? I've gone through so much pain around this. Was it really, was it able to be here? So why was I there all this time? Where was I? It brings up a lot of the old pain, right? When we heal, part of the healing is we're opening up that package of gorillas that had come to bite us when we first started down the path to darkness. We had gotten injured, and then we stayed in that place believing it, right? And suddenly someone's opening a window, a door, and we're like, the pain of the original injury hurts, because we started off as a soul that is unlimited and is filled with just light and joy. But as human beings, that's not our experience. We get this patch and that patch, and eventually, right, if you think back really, really, really early, and you go back, think about this right now, right? Just go back to a feeling of early on, right? That question of you had nothing to solve right then. The question of if you didn't need to solve anything right now, what would you be? When you were a child, you didn't need to solve anything. But maybe you did. Maybe you were neglected. Maybe you were abused. But when you think back and back and back, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes there's this block, and sometimes we have complete amnesia about our childhood because something happened and we cannot think. We can't think beyond that block. But there was a time before this block happened when you were pure soul, pure joy. And then this thing happened. And so when you're going back and you're touching that pure soul that you once were, and you're still there under it all, right? You're touching, you're reaching through the wall of your pain into yourself. And as you're reaching through that wall of pain, the pain hurts. There's a reason you've blocked yourself off from yourself and from your full potential because of the pain. And to go back to that level of love, you're going to confront that pain and it hurts like hell. Right? But you're here. And you're showing up and you're doing it. And every time you take a step, it's been taken. The step has been taken. And so therefore, as a future focused person, you're saying, well, okay, now next, right? Now what step do I need to take next? But the thing is that if you're going to be future focused your entire life, when you're actually going to get to where you're going, there will be more that you will be focusing on. So when is the time that you actually enjoy the thing that you worked for? When is that? That is where reward comes in. Reward is saying this. No, you don't have to bribe yourself. Right? Your pain is bribe enough, meaning to say you can pull yourself with a bribe, or you can be pushed by the pain, right? There's this expression in the 12-step programs, which is you can either be pushed by the fire or be pulled by the light, right? Which one do you want? Meaning, do you want you to feel the burn so bad that you need to run, or do you want to be pulled by the magnificence and the potential of it all? Whichever way it is, right? You probably landed here because you've been pushed by the fire. A lot of us, I mean, myself included, have been pushed by the fire. And so, you're motivated enough, right? But you're here now. You took the steps. You're here now. So how are you going to take acknowledgement of the fact that you are here? You're here. You signed up for this. You showed up for this. Your life is about to get better. Your life is already better because you already took steps. How are you going to acknowledge it to yourself? That's the reward. At some point, we have to stop and say, wow, I'm here. And when does that point happen, right? So the point happens. You can look at it in several ways. The way that most people do when we're living unconsciously is, okay, I got to the thing, now next, because we're programmed to be future focused. So I'm walking, I got to my destination, now I'm thinking about when am I gonna leave. I'm thinking about the next step. I'm thinking about what I want to do next. That's unconscious living. It's just doing what you were programmed to do. But if you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be there for your life, when you get to that destination, you want to pause and you want to say, wow. Because you know that you will continue the journey. You know that it never ends. And so if you're here now, you want to pause and say, wow. Now, how do you say that? I mean, I'm using the word wow, but really it's just a sense of being in what you have already created. Like, look at this. And I mean, I'm thinking about my own experience, right? At some point, a lot of us wait until we're way beyond it. Like you've gotten to the destination, you kept on walking, and then looking back, you were like, wow, look what I did, right? I remember when I wrote my book. So I remember before I wrote my book, I used to do these lists of things I wanted to bring into my life. And one of the things was write a book. And I wrote the book, okay? At some point, I had written the book and it was there. Now, what do you think I did? Celebrate it? Well, for a moment, right? But part of me was like, okay, how do I sell these books? How do I get the word out? How do I want to, in other words, I kept going right past the accomplishment. And then looking back, I was like, I had wanted to write a book. I had written a book, looking back, right? But part of me was like, Shayfula, sweetie, this is your moment. So I had some moments where I actually celebrated, and I'm grateful for that. But I think the more you actually celebrate your moments, the more you're there for them. You're in the present. Each thing that you've done, you want to bring it on. Make a party and celebrate like nobody's business because you did this. Otherwise, what's the point? Meaning to say, from your vantage point right now, if you tell yourself the thing you desperately want, you will receive it, right? But ask yourself this question. If I receive it and then I'm not even noticing that I received it, did I even receive it? Where are you going with all of this? Don't you want to be there for this? You do. You want to be there for what you did. Like, I did my book and I celebrated a little bit, but I could have just stayed there for 2 months just basking in all of that, right? But as a future focused person, I was like, all right, what do we do now? What's the next book I'm writing? No, Shayfula, what's the point of writing another book if you're not celebrating this one, right? And so I tell you that you will get to a point where you're really feeling it. You might already be there. You are in a place where when you look at the miracles you're experiencing, you know that you're experiencing miracles. And are you there for it? Or do you want more? It's okay to want more. We all want more. We always want more. No matter how high you will get, you will always want more unless you're scared and backing down and wanting less, right? That's why it says a person is not standing. A person is it's not oiler, yoided, right? You'll know. You'll correct me. A person is always going up or down, meaning to say we're moving. Things are evolving. Things are always changing. That's why you can be assured that if you pointed your face in the direction of a better life right now by coming here, by doing your work, you are getting to go to a better life because your life is always evolving and expanding. It's happening right now. Right now. And it has already happened. So are you aware of that? Like, are you enjoying the things that you've already accomplished? That's the point of the reward. The stopping and saying, wow, like it's not even a word. It's just being there in the thing and enjoying what you created. You are working with the creator of the world to bring the things that you wanted into your life, and you've done it and it's here for you. So what is the miracle you experience today? Can you enjoy it, or are you whizzing right past it? Can you enjoy it? Reward is the way to enjoy it. Now, the question was, is if parenting experts are saying don't reward your children, don't bribe them. So why are we talking about rewarding ourselves? Yeah, so that's the point. You're rewarding yourself. And different people reward themselves in different ways, right? And you can find what works for you. And you can focus on, and I think that it changes, right? What you need to reward yourself, to let yourself know, like, wow, changes for you. Sometimes my default is to whiz past it, learning to reflect and enjoy. Yes, exactly. This is a learned art, right? Because naturally, we're born as future focused, and it's like we're laser focused. We're not seeing the side of the road. But the fact is, you arrived to this place, so look around you, enjoy the view, like you're here now, right? So some of us, when I started out with this concept of rewarding myself, I was like, I need to throw a party every time I accomplish something. And sometimes I did, but sometimes I just couldn't throw that party. I didn't feel ready to celebrate myself on that level, and so I skipped it, right? And I felt sad about the fact that I skipped it. So ultimately, I realized that my rewards are simpler, right? Sometimes it's taking a few moments to just be. Sometimes it's being present for a beautiful meal, a beautiful moment, a beautiful bath, a beautiful, like, just being in your life in this way that feels good to you, as a way of acknowledging you're here, you made it here, you're doing good, you waited for this, and now you're here for this, right? And now I do this, I started doing this on a daily basis. I start off my day thinking about the miracles and the magic that I've enjoyed in the past few days, in the past day, you know, because there are things, like, as I go through my day, there are a lot of things that are nice, and then I forget about it, right? And I want to remember, because when I remember, what I'm telling myself is, what I'm reminding myself is to look out for it, to be there for it when it happens. So my reward right now is to just remember it and cherish it and hold it and enjoy it and look at it and say, thank you for it. Because when I say that, I know that I've walked and I'm here, I arrived, and I'm walking past it, because that's how human beings are. We are always evolving. Right after something happened, we're on to the next. Not because that's not a bad thing. That's just the way we're wired, because we constantly are growing and evolving. But the fact is that where I'm going is into more of what I already have. I have so much support and love and joy if I stop and remember that I do, right? And that's the reward piece. I'm reading the comments. Yes, found an apartment, Baruch Hashem, today after a long time searching for one. I'm thanking Hashem every second. Yes, enjoy it, right? I mean, thinking about apartments, like, I remember I was living in Etz Yisrael, and I was thinking about my apartment. I was thinking of moving back. And in my imagination, I imagined an apartment just like the one I live in right now. They were advertising a different complex, a different apartment, but they were advertising it, and it looked so good, and it had like this park on the side of it, and it was really beautiful. And I thought, if I can move back to New York and live in a house like that, oh my God, like, I just imagined it. And I moved to Monsey, and I found this house that was exactly my dream, but like exactly my dream. It was built at the same time, with the same style, outdoors and indoors, like the same style, you know? It had that park, it had the parking, it had the lawn, it had all the things. I'm living inside of my dream, right? So now what happens afterwards is I'm looking forward to actually buy a house. Like, that's something that I've wanted for a very long time. So I'm future focused, right? But also, every time I want to buy a house, I need to stop myself. I do this. I stop myself and I say, but you're living in your dream. So as you dream on further, and you will get the dream in your future, you are getting to your dream, but are you going to be there for it? Maybe. If you're there for this now, then you'll be there for that also. Like, when your life finally becomes everything that you want it to be now, I promise you there will be more that you want then. But you will be enjoying it then if you enjoy what you have now. So celebrate it. You worked for this. This is yours. You dreamed it in. It's yours. Congratulations on the apartment. Congratulations on all of your beautiful accomplishments. Some of you send me notes that blow my mind. Like, you have gotten there. And when you do that, when you actually sit down and say, I just want to acknowledge what happened because it happened for me, what you're doing is you're pausing and saying and acknowledging, like, wow, I'm here. Someone saying, I'm reading the comment, grass is greener on the other side till you get there, right? When you get there, sometimes it fades in your own mind, but it doesn't have to. You can have this situation where the grass is always green next to you, right? It reminds me, I don't know if you watched the movie Frozen, right? But in that movie, there's the snowman, and it's the summer, but the snowman always has his cloud of snow over him. Now, you can have the same thing. You can walk through life, and wherever you go, because you're here and you're not coming with an attitude of appreciation, because you're looking on to the future, you're always looking at the contrast. Where you want to go looks more exciting than where you are. But that's not where you want to live. You want to live in the place where you are is better than anything. And when you live from that place, wherever you go, as you go on and on and on, it gets better and better and better. You have your own cloud, especially for you, raining down good things for you because you're here for it. You notice it. Think about this right now. And I know that when you're in pain, this is a very hard thing to do. And I just want to acknowledge that. I want to be real about this. Like, it's hard to go there, right? And I want to acknowledge it because we're coming from a place of pain, and some of us have experienced such deep wounds and injuries, like all of our childhood growing up and all of our adulthood, that thinking about all the nice things doesn't even feel real. And I want to acknowledge that, right? And yet you are a hero. You're here now. Like, that is reason to celebrate because you know you will be going on further. So you're here now. You did this to yourself. You had to make the choice of coming here, right? There are so many women who contact me. They want, they don't want, they yes want, they don't want. You're here. You're here, right? You showed up. Like, that in itself, as much pain as you have right now, can you have gratitude for the courageous woman you are who showed up for this? And there's more, right? You can say to yourself, well, I wasn't there for my children. I wasn't there for my family. Did you greet your family? Did you wake up today and like notice your child? Like, let's take the things that you are doing, the things that are working in your life, the places where you are showing up. And you know that there are plenty of people who don't do what you do. And you might say, everyone's doing it better than me. That's not true, right? There are people for whom it comes more naturally because they have not been challenged in the way you have been challenged. But for you, you could have gone all the way down a very slippery slope, but you didn't. You're here. You're here. How are you going to reward yourself? Not bribe yourself, not say, okay, I'm going to wake up today and push myself because later I'm going to. No, you are already enough. You already did enough. You already came far enough. How are you going to celebrate that? You don't need to bribe yourself for the future. How are you going to celebrate that? You know, in parenting, it's interesting. I as a child, as a kid, I read it's a very classic book on parenting. I had to read parenting book to see if my parents were parenting me right. It was called How to Talk to Kids So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk, or something. So I read it cover to cover as a kid. I loved it. Now, as an adult, I didn't like it so much. I didn't have patience, and I don't like to be told how to parent. Like, it's hard enough, you know, for me. So, but I did bring it home once from the library because I was like, I remember reading this as a child. I want to read it. I didn't read through the whole thing, but I did read the beginning. I think it was that book that said, don't bribe your children. Don't bribe your children for the exact reason we said, but do reward your children. Meaning to say, not, Shefala, if you're going to be doing this, I will be giving you that. But, hey, I noticed that you did that. Let me reward you. And you don't even have to always give a reward. Just saying, I noticed that you did that. You don't have to say it was beautiful. You don't have to use adjectives. You don't have to compliment like with adjectives. You can just notice. I noticed what you did. That is so powerful for a child. And if you go even further and say, and I want to give you something because I'm just admiring what you did, right? I want to reward it. That's the reward you want to give. You're not trying to bribe. You're trying to say, wow, you did amazing. Like, that is amazing. That's how you want to reward children. And that's how you want to reward yourself. You don't want to say, okay, get to the finish line and I'm going to give you something, right? You know, but you can say, you did this. Now take a break, right? Sometimes when you are doing something hard and you do want to get over it, you're saying to yourself, stay in the game, right? But when you're done with this, I am going to pause. You're not going to have to go on and do the next thing. You will pause and do something rewarding. You're going to celebrate that you came here. You're going to take a moment and be like, wow, you are here. You don't have to reward yourself, right? Just like in that parenting book. You don't have to reward yourself and say, here's this thing. You can just say, I noticed that you did that. I notice where you are right now. I notice how far you came. Congratulations, right? I'm saying it to you right now, but we have to do it. We all have to do it to ourselves wherever we are. I'm noticing that you had enough pain, which means you weren't oblivious to what was going on. You wanted more. You showed up here. A lot of you are doing the work. You're actually doing the homework. If you're on this live, right, whether you're watching now or you're watching the replay, you're as good as it gets. You're a growing, healing person. Can you take that in? Like, without going anywhere else and doing anything else. Can you take that in? Congratulations. Like, look at this. Look at what you're doing. That's where you want to be. You want to have your own personal cloud. And I know clouds can sometimes, for us people who don't necessarily like rain, you can have your own personal sunshine cracking and shining straight through the clouds. When there's this beautiful type of sunshine that comes, like there's like a crack in the clouds and that sunshine just filters into a specific area. You know what I'm talking about. It has a name, but I don't know the name. That magic that I'm talking about? That's your magic. You can open up your own crack in the clouds, no matter what's happening to you, and have your personal sunshine. And how do we do it? By remembering that everything is working out for you. Look at what you did. Look at how far you've come. Look at you. Here's the thing. In the world, there's darkness and light. There are challenges and opportunities. There are all these things. Which one do you choose to focus on? Focus on what's working. Focus on what you already did instead of what you still need to do. You've done enough. God knows you've worked hard enough. You're here now. You're here for this. So if we're not going to enjoy this, then what's the point, right? And so you're here for this and you're here to enjoy it. And I want you to know that when you actually show up to enjoy it, you should reward yourself for that too. Reward the reward. When you're present in your life for something and it's happening and you're present, right? In this moment, if you can take in what we're talking about right now, if you can put your hand on your heart and say, I did this, I'm doing this, that in itself is something that very many people, ourselves included, rarely do. We rarely do this. We're always future focused. The fact that you're able to do this now and be in the present and admire where you are and what you did, like that in itself, can you take in that? Can you take in the greatness of that? So that's the reward. That's why we talk about reward, because as growing people, this is a program for people who want to grow and be present in your life in a way that you haven't done before, and you're really growing as a person like that. Where was I going with that? I feel like I just lost my train of thought. I don't even know why. Like, I'm not even sure if I was thinking about something. Yeah, I was thinking about something else. Okay. I don't remember. But the point is, you're here for it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. This is your life. And you're here to take it in. There's nowhere else to go. The question again, I love this question. If there's nothing to solve right now, if there's no problem to be solved right now, if there's nothing to be bettered right now, if there's nowhere to go right now, which of course there is, right? We always are future focused. But the fact is, you'll get there, right? It's not going away. If you just pause and you're here right now, you'll get there. I'm not worried, because it's as if we're in a moving car all the time. The world is, you're growing, everything is changing, the minutes are ticking, you're always moving forward, right? So leave all of that alone. If you don't need to do anything right now, if you don't have to go anywhere right now, what would you be? You'd be here. You'd be here, and here is beautiful. Here is the blessing. Feel it. Feel this moment. Try to take a breath in. Just feel yourself in your body. If you can feel your body, feel your hands. Feel yourself sitting on your chair if you're sitting on your chair, or your feet. Feel your feet planted on the ground if you're standing on the ground. Or feel your whole body supported if you're laying down. Feel it. You're here. Nothing needs to be done. You're here in this moment, and there may be things that happen today, and there may be things that you want to resolve, and there may be things that you desperately need, and there may be things that you so want to move into. You're so ready for more and for better. But here, now, things are good because you are good. Nothing needs to be changed. You're good. Can you feel that? Send me some hearts if you can feel that, and I'll know that you can, and I know that you're here, right? I mean, for me right now, we're talking here. Like, this is something that I've wanted, and here it is. We're having these conversations. I'm here for it, right? I can be focused on talking and explaining, or say, if nothing needs to happen right now, nothing needs to be said. Nothing needs to happen. Everything is good. I'm here. This is a privilege. This is a joy. So I see that some of you are feeling it, and that's such a blessing. That's such a blessing. If you're able to feel it, know that it's a hard thing to feel, right? Most of us, most of the time, are not there for it, but you are. So wow. And as you feel that, you feel the appreciation for feeling the feeling. The feeling grows if you allow it to, and it gets better and better. Sometimes we're scared of that better feeling. We don't know what to do with it. We're like, I haven't felt this in years. I don't know what this is. And we remember that today in the morning we had this conversation, or tomorrow night we have to do something, and and we go away. We leave go of that. But you can always bring yourself back in. You're always welcome here. Here is the place where you are. You are you. You always have yourself. This is the place to be. And this is as good as it gets, and it gets better and it gets better. And the more you're able to receive the present and your presence, the more it expands, right? Whoever has 100 will want 200. As your capacity to be with yourself expands, your capacity to be with yourself expands. As your capacity to receive expands, your capacity to receive expands. It's a stretched rubber band. You get more and more and more. And you're standing under your own sunshine. It's personal for you, from your creator who is there with you, living your life, sending you sunshine. And you can take it and you can enjoy it. And it may bring up a mountain of pain, because you'll be like, what is this? And why wasn't I there until now? And I don't even deserve this. And if I did deserve this, then why did I never get this? And why am I 40 years old and trying this for the first time, And it's okay. These things will come up. There's always contrast. There's always all the more blessings we receive. There's this, waves come back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And as they come back and forth, they make a dent in the stones and the walls, right? And with you too, you're growing. And as you're growing, you're feeling the pushback. And it's okay, because you deserved and earned this place, and you'll survive the pain. It works for you. You're here for it. You're here for your life. So congratulations. Congratulations for being here. And congratulations for congratulating yourself. So that's the topic of rewards. And I think that as parents, the more we're able to give our children that acknowledgement, not before they do something, but if they do something and we said, wow, you were here for it. You actually did it. You actually came through. You actually did what you said you would do. You actually did what, you wanted to do. Like, wow, we're giving our children the expanded capacity to be there for themselves inside of their wins, which is amazing, right? So I'm reading the comments. Yes, love this so much. 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. Yes, But can we say 2 steps forward, 1 step backward? Because do the math. The fact is we're moving forward. So how is this even happening? Well, it happens without us having to work too hard. Yes, we're keeping on moving forward. And we don't even have to work so hard for it. We turn in the direction of our desires and things come and greet us and show us and we're led. And so you're here now. You showed up for it. So enjoy the fact that you showed up for it. And then it'll get better and better from there. And you'll get more and more and more. And you'll be able to enjoy more and more. So yeah, that's all we got. And if there's anything else you want to add to the discussion, talk, contribute, ask, share on this, share your experience. I'm welcoming it here. I love to hear from you as always. And so I'll stick around for a moment and see if this conversation goes anywhere where you would like to take it. And otherwise, I will just say thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. I feel privileged to be in this community of women. Each of you are a hero. And you have earned your respect. So for me personally, I'm sitting here and I'm giving myself a moment. So I'm also just feeling the feelings that I have after I talk to you. I love to teach, to share, to communicate at a high level, to communicate on a deep level about things that really matter. And as I'm sitting here and just, being, not going anywhere, I'm feeling just the physical sensation that I feel when I share. What I feel is energized. I feel alive. Like that's the reward. The reward is in the experience. It's built in, right? So going back, hold on, I'm going to read these comments. Then I want to go back to a concept about reward in the world to come. Okay. Thank you so much for this beautiful live. Truly spoke to my heart today. Thank you. Me too. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. And I love this feedback, right? Like I can take that in. It's wonderful. Here's the thing, right? We say, don't do anything for the world to come, for the reward in the world to come. And you might be asking, well, if it's going to be so good, why not, right? Because who you are becoming, you're becoming more and more expressed of who you are, right? Your soul came here in the world to be physically expressed, to get into a body so that the body can do all the things, right? We say that in the time after our life finishes, or at the time of the redemption, there will be nowhere to go anymore. And so our physical bodies and the fact that we can do something right now will be nullified. We will just be. We'll be in a state of being. When we are in a state of being, that's a beautiful place to be. But the fact is, here we are becoming and becoming and becoming more of ourselves. Our soul is in our body so that our soul can be physically expressed in this world more and more and more. That's what we're doing. And so if you're future focused and you're saying, I'm doing all of this, but I'm doing this for the world to come, your soul is actually being here like, no, just create now. Like your soul is enjoying every minute of the challenge, every minute of the struggle, every minute of becoming more and more and more, every minute of the reward right now. Right now you're connected to your creator. Right now you're connected to your soul. Right now you're becoming more and more and more. You don't have to wait an entire lifetime, a century, to get your reward. The reward is that you're becoming and becoming and becoming, and after your life finishes, your soul's journey as a physical body is complete, and it can bask in itself. Just like we're doing with rewards, we're basking in what we've already created. We're getting some of that soul experience here. So the reward is inside of what's happening right now. Anyway, I see that the live is finishing. So thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. Love you all for being here. I admire the greatness of your courage. And thank you.